And welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. Always a pleasure to welcome Heather Morris and Major Tom Grace from the Salvation Army. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
We think of you guys when it's cold and you're wanting bell ringers and it's Christmas time and we're trying to think of people in need at that time of year. But you guys seem to be employed and very busy all year round, yes?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. It only gets busier as the years progress, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Are we seeing more people needing services from the Salvation Army than in the past?
Oh, absolutely. And not just more people needing services, but more people needing service that is a little more complicated than it used to be.
Like what?
It used to be that, a bag of food or a couple bags of food would be the assist that a family budget needs, and that's not so much the case anymore. Issues are more expensive, challenges are greater, and so we have to become more complex in the way that we meet human need.
How does Salvation Army look differently today than it looked 10 years ago?
Well, my hair wasn't great 10 years ago.
Well, there's that. Other than that, Major Grace, what?
I would say that the major difference is, and I want to be careful how I say this, but I don't want to say it perfectly.
That's okay. Say it, just say it.
I was thinking on the way over here about how much more angry society has become. And I think because it's become angrier, people are looking for a target to be angry at.
Mm-hmm.
Their circumstances, whatever their circumstances may be. Look at the world scene. We woke up on Easter Sunday morning to find out 300 of our brothers and sisters were executed.
Yes.
They were executed. Well, people need a place to go with that anger, and then they factor in their own circumstances, and it made it. I think we tend to get the most angry at the people we love the most because they're safer. They're safer. Well, the Salvation Army becomes a safe place. And from time to time, it's a little angrier at the Salvation Army than it used to be. But we have a very skilled staff that understands that, comprehends the reality of that. Dignity is critical. And if people aren't leaving our facility with their dignity intact, we are doing something wrong.
I used to get the sense, working at the soup kitchen on Mondays, that a lot of people there really wanted you to know. It was important that you knew they were better than this.
Yes.
That dignity was so important that, okay, look, I've hit a rough patch, but this isn't me.
Right.
I'm not this guy.
Right. Well, they were catastrophic illnesses or whatever it may be. It's just one shot that puts people behind the eight ball. And it is more difficult today to get out from behind the eight ball than it's ever been. That's what's different about the Salvation Army 10 years later.
Can we put a finger on why it's more difficult now? Because you're right. That's a spiral that it's pretty hard to get to spiral back up again.
Do you remember what your first car payment was?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
My first car payment was $79.
Yeah, it would have been right around that.
Right?
Yes.
Today, $300-$400.
Yeah.
And those exponential growths aren't just in car payments, but it's in utilities, it's in food costs. So if you are behind the eight ball, the opportunity to increase your income isn't always the case with, unfortunately, those we serve who oftentimes are undereducated. It's a different world. It's a technical world. I have to call somebody in to fix my computer. I have to call somebody in to get me into a program.
Right.
And if I still had a VCR, I'd have to call somebody in to change the blinking 12. Right?
Yes.
So that's what those we serve, our programs participants, are facing.
Do we have programs that we offer to help people get skilled, become a skilled laborer? Because that's the nice thing, is right now there's a lot of job opportunity for someone who can pass a drug test.
Sure. I think Canton has some very good programs that offer job training. I'll try not to say this perfectly. The reality is that oftentimes the pathway out of poverty requires a complete mindset change.
That's exactly right.
Did I say that kindly enough?
You know what? That's a really good way to put it, and such a very good point. Poverty is more of a mindset than anything else, than a lack of resources.
Absolutely. Self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
It's critical. Self-worth is critical. And that's not just for those in poverty. I mean, I go to the office some days and say, I am in so far over my head.
Mm-hmm.
And my own self-worth will take a ding.
Who of us doesn't go through
Exactly. So I would say that to meet today's needs, the first thing we have to do, in my opinion, is to listen.
Mm-hmm.
We can't offer cookie cutter services and say we're going to meet your needs, because it's pretty arrogant to think that I know what somebody's need is when they walk in my door.
Well, and I love that every person is valued as soon as they come in. I'll just talk about the soup kitchen again. It's an awesome dining experience. It's not like going to a soup kitchen. It's like having a table where you break bread with other people and you are served and you get to pick your own dessert from the dessert tray. And it's really good food. And there are people who arrive at the beginning and stay till the end just for the fellowship.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just a wonderful, wonderful
fellowship
dining
is a
experience.
critical component of our soup kitchen. We have seniors who that may be the only interaction they have all day is to have a conversation. And it's interesting to walk around the tables and listen to some of the conversations that are going on. They always catch bigger fish and those kinds of things. But
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Good.
It is. It's great. The friendships that come from that. And then a lot of people who receive services from the Salvation Army are servers at the soup kitchen. They're workers as well.
Yes.
You see people giving back.
Absolutely.
And it's our volunteers that are doing that, like sitting with people and talking to them and how are you doing? What can we do for you? There are services that we have that can be provided to you, and they're welcome to go visit and see what else we can do for them. So
we should tell people where you're located. Where are you?
420 Market Avenue South. Right in the middle of town. We have a lot going on around us. So we have a social service department that you can't see from the front. You more see like our church area. We're a church. So, and then our gym area where we've opened our community center, we've reopened that. And then you go around back and you see the big social service entrance. So somebody's there to greet you.
I don't want to give you like a pop quiz, but what are some of the services that Salvation Army provides?
So we do a lot of stuff. I mean, we have, of course, like our services that revolve around like our church. We're a church first.
Yes.
So we have children's services that are through that. We run a day camp program for our middle school. We have different services. You wouldn't know if I say what they're called, but like junior soldiers, corps cadets.
What do they do more than what they're called?
Okay. So it's kind of like going to Brownies or Girl Scouts or Boys Club or whatever. It's just focused,
scripture based.
Yes. Yeah.
And giving kids a chance to belong to something.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We have a Music and More program that happens on Sundays where kids can come and like pick a track where they can learn more about dance and instruments and vocal and piano and
brass.
Yep. All that kind of stuff. So we have a lot of children's activities. We have Bible studies all through the week. We have, specific for men and women and couples and that kind of stuff. We have women's programs. We have a senior center downstairs that meets Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
What's considered a senior? What age?
We have seniors that are in their 40s. I don't know that the age is so critical to us. It's the opportunity of fellowship. It's the opportunity to be with others of like kind. So we're not really real stringent on the age.
So no one's going to get carded. Are
No.
you? Let's see if you're really a senior.
No.
Okay.
No, they even let us in once in a while. So.
We do go down there.
But again, people that might be lonely, if they don't have another way to be interacting with other people, we've got that basic need
Right.
of needing to connect with another person.
Yep.
Right. And it's more than just fellowship. There is education that goes on. We bring speakers in. There's a lot of activity around what they do They also volunteer.
Nice.
We have a program where we provide lunches to 2 schools on Fridays for the weekend. We call it the Weekender program. And our seniors pack those bags. So they're
Nice.
packing 300 bags.
Very cool.
And then they're being distributed in the schools.
So they're meeting about 3 times a week?
They meet 3 times a week, and they pack those weekender bags on Fridays.
Nice.
You go down there, they're so happy to be doing it. They're
And just having
they're so
fun together.
happy. Oh, yeah. They're so blessed to be
And
doing
lunch
it.
is provided. You know,
I found
It's a fun place to be.
that age group tends to be really good servers at the soup kitchen. I go back to the soup
Yes.
kitchen
Yeah.
again on
Yes.
Mondays. They seem to be
Yes.
pretty
they're
active.
They're looking for stuff to do, and we definitely give them a lot to do.
You can keep them busy.
And before we left, I was recording them doing, with our health and wellness instructor, they do chair yoga. So they were doing yoga. They have a walking club. They do so much. So, and then there's also, besides that kind of stuff, then there's our social service department. So we have what we call Red Shield bags, which is a bag. You don't necessarily have to be homeless, but just in need, that is given from Tuesday to Friday. On Sundays and Mondays, we do soup kitchen. So that's why we don't do those bags on those days, because you can come up and have a warm meal. We do food pantry, which our food pantry is a choice pantry, which means you walk through with a shopping cart with a volunteer that walks you through, and you can choose what you feel your family needs.
So
for
it's
the
an honor
week.
system. You basically just go shopping at a...
Well, you're walking with a volunteer and
Yes.
guided.
Okay.
but it makes people feel like, wow, I'm getting what we can really cook, what we really need, there's beautiful. I wish I could bring you.
yeah, they'll put signs up. You can take this many of these, that kind of thing.
But a person is getting to choose.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's not like, here's your bag of food where
Yes.
we've decided what you're going to be eating this week. They get to
Yes.
decide what they're going to make.
And there's usually a protein as well, chicken, or we have a great partnership with the food bank, and then we have Case Farms, which is very generous to us.
I was
very
just going to
generous.
ask, how do you keep that stocked? Where does everything come in? Do you need more help with that, with
We
stocking
can
it?
always use volunteer help in the social service department. If you gave 2 hours, if you gave an hour, it certainly is a little less wear and tear on our staff, who is handling product all the time.
Right.
It's just all the time. In addition to trying to do case management,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yes, everybody, it's amazing. And when you are getting stretched in so many different areas. Well, let's get into volunteer opportunities. What can a volunteer do?
Anything.
If I come up and I say, I would love to volunteer, Heather, how are you going to put me to work?
I would start with, like we were saying, the choice pantry. We need volunteers to walk through with the program participants and to guide them.
Is there some training first, so that, because that might be
There
awkward that
is.
first time you're going, saying, hey, you're taking too many of
There
those
is.
cans.
Yes, there definitely is.
Okay.
Yes. And they'll, of course, ask for your information, and you're put through our books and that kind of stuff. So everything's done professionally.
Yes.
And then, as we get to know you, we could find out what your skill set is and then kind of place you where you feel more comfortable. I mean, some people say, I was a teacher. So we would put them with our kids that come in on Tuesdays to work with our wellness director and our community center director in their areas. And that's usually middle school age, but they definitely need help. Kids always need homework help and that kind of stuff and computer skills. So we need help during the week to then stock the pantry. So if you're somebody that's not as social and you just want to do some physical labor, we can always use that, kind of behind the scenes. We always need help in the soup kitchen, just some smiling faces to help that, keep going. There's clerical work that always needs done. I mean, we have administrative offices that always need help.
So pretty much whatever you have to give, you would be able to plug them in.
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
And folks can contact the Army at 330-453-0159. And if they're interested in volunteering, they ask for Catherine Settles or Bert.
Okay.
Depends what day of the week.
Catherine Settles or Bert.
Yeah.
Okay. And that again is 330-453-0159. We're visiting with Heather Morris and Major Tom Grace from the Salvation Army. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.